Hey y'all, it's me, Kevvie. Sorry I haven't been posting as much recently. I have been super duper swamped the past couple of weeks. To make up for it, I'm recording several videos back to back to back, so I have content for the next week or two. If you've been on Booktube for any length of time, you are familiar with Jim's alphabet tags. This weekend he released the K tag and tagged me. So let's do it. K is for Kite Runner. Have you read the Kite Runner? What do you think of it? I read Kite Runner in school. All I remember is that someone had a cleft lip and people said it was really dark. K is for Kafka. Which is your favorite of Kafka's novels? So just this weekend, I DNF'd Metamorphosis. I think this might have been my first hard DNF of the year. I love the idea of it. A man that wakes up one morning transformed into a bug. But I hated the execution of it. I kept trying to push through it, especially since it was so short. Damn, it was just so boring that I just couldn't bring myself to sit through another page. I gave up around the time they were talking about family finances. Most of my friends who have read this have it rated at least 4 stars. So I don't know why I disliked it so much when it seems to be universally adored. K is for King. Which is your favorite novel by Stephen King? Honestly, I haven't read that much Stephen King. Only a couple books from the Dark Tower series and Children of the Corn. Which is a shame because I'm sure I would love his work. The thing holding me back is his length. I'm very much a sprint reader. I like getting through books quickly. That is just flat out impossible when so much of his work is over 1,000 pages. I'm never going to read The Shining. I'm never going to read The Stand. I'm never going to read It. While I haven't read much of him, I have watched a lot of his adaptations, which I love. Based on that, I'm going to say my favorite is It. I love scary clowns. And I have performed as a scary clown many times. From Pennywise to John Wayne Gacy. Also, I just adore Tim Curry. I wouldn't necessarily claim to have a preference of one Pennywise over another, but Tim Curry is just my favorite actor ever. Funny story about my first time watching it. I bought the DVD and not realizing that it was a double-sided disc, only watched the first half. I was like, that's it? What the fuck? What a stupid movie. For years I hated on that film. Then one day I saw an image of the spider from It, and I'm like, what the fuck? I don't remember a spider. Then I realized that I had messed up. So yeah, despite not having read it, I'm going to say my favorite Stephen King novel is It. K is for Kennedy. Have you done the JFK Tag? Nope. I've not done the JFK Tag. I don't do too many tags to begin with, and JFK just doesn't appeal to me at all. The only things I like about him are his jelly donut quote, and that only 2 years after his assassination, John Waters filmed a reenactment of it starring Divine as Jackie Kennedy. First person ever to reenact it, even before Warhol, and done in such beautifully poor taste. K is for Kirk. Who is your favorite Star Trek character? I don't watch much Star Trek. I'm sorry, I know. I think it's awesome. I've just always been so intimidated by how much of it there is, and just not knowing where to start. But I'll say my favorite character is Uhura for inspiring a generation of black women, and for depicting the first televised interracial kiss. She's awesome. K is for Korea. Can you recommend a book or author from Korea? I don't think I've read any Korean literature. Although Diary of a Murderer by Young Ha Kim is on my TBR. It sounds really good. It's about a man who used to be a serial killer, but decides he must commit one more murder to get rid of his daughter's boyfriend, who he thinks might also be a serial killer. That's pretty high up on my TBR. K is for Kindle. What are you currently reading on your Kindle? Well, I'm currently doing a buddy reads with Sandy from Miss Reads a Lot. We're reading the Poirot novel 1-2 Buckle My Shoe, also known as Overdose of Death, also known as some other thing. We're supposed to be finishing it today. Super excited about that. Also, I'm finally starting to read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I love that series so much, and I've wanted to read this book for years, and I've just never done it. Oh, so I'm thrilled that I'm finally working on that. I've also got a couple of books off NetGalley that I'm working through. K is for killer. What book from your reading took you into the mind of a killer? Well, just last week, I read Perfume Story of a Murderer as a buddy read with Ange from Ange's Book Chatta. It's a disgusting book. Not because it puts you in the mind of a killer, but the excessive descriptions of vulgar scents and nasty fluids. Oh, it made me nearly vomit. And at one point I actually had to put down the book and go shower because I felt so filthy. K is for kind. What kind of books don't you read? I don't read romance. Especially straight romance. Ugh. I hate it so much. If it's present in a book of another genre, if it's integral to the plot, I'll allow it. But when it's shoehorned into places it has no right to be, oh, it pisses me off to no end. Not every man and woman need to wind up dating or married at the end of your story. Stop it. I also don't like long books, like I mentioned earlier. I like really short books because then even as a slow reader, I can feel like I'm making steady progress through them. Although I think I may have found a solution for this. Spotify recently released a series called Audiobooks Listen to the Classics. Now, I don't listen to audiobooks all that often because the idea of just sitting there listening and doing nothing else sounds dreadful, and I worry that if I'm doing something else while it's playing, I'm going to miss things. But I decided I wanted to try listening to Great Expectations and maybe just have it playing while I'm getting ready in the mornings. Since those kinds of tasks don't require much thought, I could focus on listening to the story while doing all of that on autopilot. The first 20 chapters or so, I would go and read the SparkNote summary right after listening to make sure I got everything. Then I realized I didn't need to. I've only got 2 chapters left out of 59, and I am so excited. I never could have read this, like with my eyeballs read. I can't do that. It's 1,300 pages. I just can't. But with this audiobook, I've actually been able to get through this entire thing. This is something I definitely want to continue. So there's the K tag. I tag anyone whose name starts with K or any other letter in the alphabet. Shit. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if it pleases and sparkles, I'll see you in the next video. Mwah!